Oil Brojo Builds. I'm here in the garage. I got the pops out front. My kids are somewhere. My boys are somewhere outside, and we're just gonna be. I'm gonna start working on the fuel system on here. My father's gonna be playing with some future projects that will be most likely on the channel down the road. But I'm gonna be working on getting this fuel cell out and then switching over to the other fuel cell and the fuel pump. So I'll be doing this within a few days, and we're gonna just clip them all together. So I hope you enjoy. The fuel tank was only held by 4 bolts. I got one of my sons helping me right now vacuum up any debris, and then I'll start looking at seeing where I'm gonna put this fuel cell that I got. I got it off of the Chevette since I'm gonna put a smaller fuel cell in it. I'm just gonna use the one that was in it on here, and since that has a gravity fed feed on the tank, it will feed the pump much better than the old setup that I had on there. With no gravity feed, it was making the pump work way too hard, and I was getting, having fuel issues along with timing issues. So with both of these problems solved, we should be moving out pretty good. My father's playing with a 6-liter LS, which you're gonna be seeing later on. That's a 5.3. This is another 6-liter, and there's a few more where that came from. So we're gonna have some LS action on the channel very soon as well. So after doing some measurement and the fuel cell I got, which I'll show you right here. Don't mind the glare from the light too much. Wait, I'm gonna put this down. Ugh. So, no matter where I put this fuel cell, this one's a little bit larger one. I believe it's a 12-gallon. It's kind of in the way, and the factory humps on the floor. And I really do not want to cut the factory floor too much. So I think I'm just gonna get one of those eBay aluminum fuel cells, which this is what this one is. A 5-gallon one, and the 5-gallon fuel cell is 12 by 12. So move this one out of here. It's 12 by 12, so it will fit right in this space with minimal, cutting or distortion. But that other tank was gonna get right into this hump, this factory hump, and I really don't feel like beating on this thing with a hammer too much. I could be a hack sometimes, but I'm not that level of hack yet. I'm getting there though. I'll make some of you guys proud. So I'll go under the car and start working on getting this pump in that section of the fuel system out. There's some surprises you get when you get it. I got these motors for free, so I really, I'm not upset at all. But this motor was supposed to only have 75,000 miles, and yeah, those must have been some 75 hard miles. And it looks like someone was using some type of block sealant, and instead all they did was plug their air gasket. So yeah, this block will 100% can be saved. I'm not worried about it. After a good bore over. Even this rusted cylinder, I'd be surprised it probably would clean up at 5,000. But to be safe, you probably go over 10,000 over piston, and this motor will be perfectly fine. So sometimes, you know, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, this block definitely has to get hot tank though. It's definitely has a bunch of block filler in it. Yeah, this side is no better, but this is still race motor. I don't. I'm not worried about it. It's it's ready to go sevens. Just quick hone, boom boom boom, bada bing bada boom. I'm joking, obviously, but some work, it'd be fine, just fine. I'm pulling the pump and filter off now, and you can tell just by the feed line and the line coming from the pump that, again, this pump is the Mr. Gasket 105, which I believe would be plenty for an application like this with a small block, even a big block, 600 horse, gravity fed with a decent sized line. I don't think this thing had a return line too. It would have been fine. But the fact that it wasn't gravity fed, this pump was working extra hard, and it was not happy for sure. It was definitely not in a good mood. So out with this, I have another pump to replace it with, and it's not replacing it. I'm just replacing it, planning ahead in the future, because there's gonna be a bigger motor going in this long term. So I'll put a bigger pump. Alright, so I just removed the pump, and look how dry it is. There's like no fuel coming out of the pump. And even the fuel filter didn't have a lot of gas in it. It wasn't like packed full of fuel. So this pump was definitely struggling just getting fuel to it the way it was routed. So this had a return line, or has a return line. It has an 8 AN return line in the car, and he was feeding it with a steel 3/8 line. So I'm gonna remove the 3/8 line out of the car and use the 8 AN return line as my new feed line, and it's gonna be run as a deadhead type setup with the new pump. So all this is out of here. I'll pull the rest of the lines out of the car. I'll keep the 8 AN return line as my new feed line, and when the cell gets here, we're gonna run a new filter and the new pump, and keep it moving. So I'll remove the steel line, and I might have to just get rid of the front regulator setup that we have going on there too. So let me move this party to the front. So I thought taking this 6-liter apart. Again, we got it for free. So when you get things for free, you know, I was told that the 2 6-liters had a slight knock in them. This one, it's hard to tell, but it has a broken rod. He was able to. My father just saw my father tap the piston, and the piston just went in. So we gotta pull the oil pan and see what's left down there. As long as it didn't whack anything up too bad, it'll be fine. And same thing with the other one, with the rusted cylinders and whatnot. All this could be saved if you're, you know, rebuilding an engine and you're planning on doing a complete rebuild anyway. Then this is just, it's gonna be fine for the most part, as long as you didn't crack the block. And even so, a good competent machine shop add $100-$150 to put a sleeve in it and then keep it moving. So I'll be bouncing back and forth back to the fuel system. All right, so this is what we have going on currently with the fuel system. This is the metal fuel, the feed line. This is what we're gonna remove out of the car, and this is the return line. This is what we're gonna keep in the car. So NHRA rules is you're not supposed to have a regulator on the firewall. So I'm gonna fix that, and you either have to move it 6 inches off of the firewall, or it cannot be in the vicinity. So I might actually make a bracket and move it 6 inches off the firewall, and just keep the lines the way they have it run here, because I actually don't mind it off to the side like that. But with a nice little bracket, and I imagine it somewhere around this vicinity, and the line feeding into it, and that's it. No return line in the future setup too. And so I'm gonna switch this regulator. This is a Mr. Gasket regulator. I believe this is designed to be used as a return. I have a Holley regulator that I'm gonna dig out of my pile. As a matter of fact, let me bring you over there. Show you the pump and regulator assembly that I'm gonna be using. So this is the Mallory pump I'm gonna be using, and I just returned the Mr. Gasket pump I just pulled off of it. So I'm gonna use this pump, and I have a cheap eBay filter somewhere around here, and then a Holley style regulator. Well, this is a cheap one. This is Holley. So I'll probably clean this sucker up, and this is what we're gonna use for a regulator. So this is gonna be our future fuel system. So I just want to show something, how dry the fuel system is. I had this car running, and the previous video where the cam button install. So this is only 2 days later, and the fuel system is, oh, we got some fuel from the carburetors, yes, but the return line, there's nothing in the return line and almost nothing in the feed line. So this pump was definitely struggling to keep up with this motor. So for this day, I don't know if I'm gonna break it up into multiple videos, or just gonna have one video for this video, and then the next video, the install for the cell, wherever I have it laid out. But at least for today, I'm calling it quits. I'm gonna finish removing this line, and then that's it. Then I'll start restructuring the fuel cell. So you might either see this in this video. If not, like, share, and subscribe, and come to the next one where we're gonna finish the fuel system.